Rise and Shine Rwanda, it's Friday the 26th of June.
Coming up on today's weekly review show.
We took a look at how UN Women champions President Kagame and Rwanda were for gender equality.
Fidelis sat down with young innovators who stole the show at this year's Hack Out Loud event.
Arnold showed us why disability doesn't limit one's ability.
And we explore Kurema Kureba Kwiga's latest project, and this one was big. Welcome to the Rise and Shine Rwanda weekly review show, where we take you back through the week right here on Rise and Shine. It's just gone 7 o'clock in the morning, and my name is Makeda Mahario.
And I'm Regis Isheja. Over the next hour, we'll be bringing you a review of this week's top features, analysis, debate, and insights into the stories making headlines here in Rwanda and across the world. The Rise and Shine crew have throughout the week been diligently gathering and preparing everything you need to know, so let's take a look back. Well, it's been a busy week for us here at the Rise and Shine headquarters. One of the most interesting stories that I reported on this week was His Excellency President Paul Kagame being named an Impact 10 by 10 by 10 he-for-she champion by UN Women, a feat that is true to Rwanda's constant fight for gender equality. Rwanda is one of the 10 countries worldwide committing to take bold, game-changing action to achieve gender equality within and beyond their countries. Let's take a look back.
Partnership between men and women, engaging especially men and boys to remove the social and cultural barriers that prevent women and girls all over the world from achieving their potential and the aspirations. It is a campaign that calls upon all society, not just part of it, to make a change at the highest level possible.
The He4She Impact 10 by 10 by 10 program engages 30 key leaders across 3 sectors: public, sector, and academia. Rwanda has committed to bridge the gender digital divide and attain parity in ICT access.
If you look on ICT is going to fill in those skills are going to be filled by the ICT, and again, all these skills are going also to help our girls to get employment through National Employment Program.
Only 34% of students in higher learning education, ICT fields, are girls or women.
ICT has been earmarked at an area where we have made both progress, but also we still have a long way to go. And this campaign aims at picking a few areas where targeted action can produce a big impact. Now, the women in Rwanda have shown great potential in terms of technology, innovation, but we have seen also that there are still challenges, there are still gaps in access, in education, and jobs in the technology field. So this campaign is going to be a platform for us to raise the necessary awareness, but also to formulate programs that are going to address that imbalance that we still have.
He4She was first introduced last year and aims at mobilizing 1 billion boys and men in support of gender equality.
This campaign is basically not new to Rwanda by the fact that Rwanda is and has already done so very much for women and for girls. So it is not as though this campaign is coming to tell Rwanda, do this, attain gender equality. This has already been done, and been done with a lot of success. These 10 countries, of which Rwanda is among them, are going to spearhead and to support and to show by practice, by deed, what has been done, what can be done to achieve full gender equality for the development of everybody.
Way to go, Rwanda. Regis Isheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda. studio now is Jean Bosco Murangira, Director of Women Economic Empowerment at the Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion. Welcome back to the show, Jean Bosco.
Thank you very much.
All right, now, we've talked about He for She campaign several times here on the show, but this is huge. This is big news because when I first got the call that our president, His Excellency Paul Kagame, was getting this award, Rwanda was being rewarded and being put among the 10 countries in the world that are really truly advancing this cause, I felt really proud and I was beaming of joy and all that. Now, you at the Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion, what have been the steps to get to this? I mean, why are we getting this kind of award, this kind of recognition today?
Thank you very much. Actually, it's just to recognize all the efforts that have been done. And our president, of course, is a champion of this. And we are really proud as a ministry and, of course, as a country.
Great.
To see that all initiatives, efforts that have been put in, they have been realized or reflected even at the global level, which is really a very noble cause for us to be happy at this event.
Now, you're a man working at a Ministry of Gender. Your role, you're among those billion boys and men that are trying to really help women get to the plateau where they're supposed to be to begin with. Working with UN Women, because this is the entity, this is the organization that's actually behind this campaign. How has it been working with them from government of Rwanda's perspective?
Actually, UN Women really has been very cooperative with the government of Rwanda, and specifically with our Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion, in capacity building, institutional strengthening, and all other areas of women empowerment. And we are very proud to see that they are really doing a lot to help us to foster this cause of gender equality and women empowerment.
Now, Honorable Minister Jean-Philbert Nsengimana was at the event where we actually learned about the president getting this, becoming a champion, because they call them champion of the 10 by 10 by 10 campaign. Now, Minister Philbert said that the ICT is really key when it comes to involving women, not only in their daily life, but really improving where the country is at. From ministry point of view, how are you guys helping them, and how are you working with TVETs and the Ministry of ICT?
Thank you very much. Actually, initially, our government put much emphasis to make sure that they put both legal and the institutional frameworks that are in place.
Right.
We are very proud to see that by now, infrastructure is in place. What is now lacking is to make sure that we make everyone come on board. What we are doing now, putting much emphasis in the campaign and the awareness, both to girls, but also to parents and teachers, to make sure that they have to tap in these opportunities that are in place, and they encourage the girls to come on board, take up this ICT courses, come into TVET, not this traditional way or mechanism, but come in and tap in this as they have been seen as faster or issues that can really foster employment and job creation for these women and girls.
Now, for most of the people hearing about these, people who saw at the end of last week this being tweeted, being shared on social media, you will believe this is something happening and touching women in cities. But this is also happening in rural areas. How are you guys impacting the empowerment of women in rural areas?
Actually, you see what we are doing as a ministry, we don't work alone. We work with other institutions as a synergy, like Rwanda Women's Leaders Network, like Women in Parliament, Minister of Education, Minister of Education, Minister of ICT and Youth. We have a program called Mentorship Program, where we go into all those other districts and make sure that these women are mobilized, sensitized, brought on board, they are coached, they are equipped with that skills so that they can take up with these existing opportunities.
Now, the Honorable Minister Oda said that she saw, when she was looking around the room, she saw a lot of parity and a lot of, it was very even. When you looked at the journalists that were there, there were as many women as there were men. And she was like, that's showing that this is not just something that's happening like that. There's actually a reason behind it.
Yes.
Empowering women going forward, because you have a tendency when you win these awards and when you're high in rankings worldwide, you have a tendency of actually resting on your laurels. Where are we going from here? What's next to do on the agenda?
Thank you very much. Actually, when you trace back what our government have been doing, right from attaining most of the MDG sets goals, seeing what we are doing in Vision 2020, EDPRS2, and other mechanisms. Now we haven't reached where we want to be. The bar is still high, which you have to attain. to make sure that our country reaches into what we are targeting. Our country targets to be a middle-income country by 2020. So we are pushing on. We are putting on holistic approaches to make sure that we move forward and reach where we want to be as a country.
Now, Jean Bosco, I'm going to be the voice of the street a little bit. To those who say that, you have 64% of women in parliament and all these great, amazing feats we've accomplished, there's a lot of people saying, well, yeah, that's like maybe one Muyobozi in this spot here and there, one leader in this spot here and there, but it doesn't really represent what's actually happening in offices, what's actually happening in departments. What would you say to that?
Actually, that's what I think, that we haven't reached where I want to be in all spheres. And by the way, when you talk about this gender equality thing, we don't talk about only seeing that this person is in this office, but we see tapping up existing opportunities and initiatives. And this is what we are pushing as this campaign goes on, to make sure that all people come on board, specifically women, they tap up existing opportunities. They are in all spheres, economic, social, political, health spheres, and everywhere. And this is what we are moving forward as a ministry, and we are encouraging men and boys to come on board and fight for this noble cause of ensuring
I like
equality.
that part where it's actually boys and men who are actually fighting for women's empowerment.
Exactly.
Now, before we wrap up, I know that in August there's a big event coming up.
Yes.
I know you will be back, or someone else will be back for that. What can we look forward to for that event?
That event, actually, we shall communicate to you soon. Official event will be taking place, and we're encouraging both all men and boys to be on board, to register, and he for she, and see we move forward gender equality in Rwanda as we have been doing.
Well, your ministry is doing a fantastic job. It's one of the reasons why our country is being loaded abroad. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It's great to see people like Jean Bosco Murangira, who was my guest there, be that involved when it comes to the Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion. And it's great that our country is being recognized for pushing gender equality. I mean, it's our president, it's the entire country. I think we're looking pretty good out there.
It just shows when efforts are made, we get recognition for that.
Absolutely,
I
right.
love it. Well, you are watching the review edition of Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here is to traveling and saving. Starting 1st of April to the 1st of June, travel with Rwandair and take advantage of our reduced fares and enjoy our world-class services in great comfort and safety.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda, the review. Now, there were some big business stories in the news this week, and Fidelis, as always, kept us up to date with everything happening in the world of money. But one of our favorite features was definitely the stars of the Hack Out event.
Hack Out Loud
The
event.
Hack Out Loud event. Let's take a look back.
That's right, Regis.
You're still making fun of me,
The
huh?
Hack Out Loud event.
Right.
Just last week, one of the biggest product launch events was held right here in Rwanda, organized by Hehe Labs and East African Research and Innovation Base. Fidelis attended the action-packed event that attracted over 200 people to find out what it was all about. I think you really need to watch this.
Right.
Check it out.
Every year at the Hack Out Loud event, Hehe Labs takes the opportunity to showcase mobile technology solutions that it has been working on within a countrywide network of product development labs. The company that is so far best in 6 high schools and 1 university, working with nearly 100 youth, has given many people a platform to develop various apps that can easily be incorporated into our daily lives. And I have to say, it's quite a fresh, an app that helps people to know about all the driving rules and regulations was definitely one of my favorites.
We came up with this fresh app, which is helping people to know all about the road codes and these things, and it can be more easily, you can get it easily and smooth, and it's sweet to read, like not having the big book to read from the National Gazette.
Genius, right? I like to think so. And if you think that was impressive, what was even more impressive was the huge number of girls who were fast at work explaining to people about the apps they've developed. In an industry that's normally male-dominated, I was curious to find out how they're able to stand their ground and stand out as well as they were.
Why I love the fact that I'm a girl is because I am inspired to prove to the community that whatever the sex, then you can do what you want to do. So I was driven to Gashora. I wanted so bad to go to Gashora Girls Academy. But to me, to be in Gashora, I am not under rules, so they give me freedom to do whatever things I want. And so I get to explore everything as much as a boy can do. And whatever I do, I know I have to prove to the community, so I do it the best way I can. And I never tend to waste time doing other things around because I know what my point is.
By building the first ever exclusive digital content store, Hey Labs helps innovators by granting them free access to this store, free data services to run their applications, as well as mentorship programs, all aimed at ensuring that these innovations flourish. But what more is being done to ensure the success of these applications?
What's quite interesting about the applications that are being built is, given the fact that we have already provided them with access to Nuntu, the digital content platform where they can be able to, market their applications, if it's free or if there's a price to it. The students will continue to be able to put their applications in the market and people will use them. From our cohort last year, we had some of the students had over 100 downloads of their applications that were on Nuntu. But beyond that, what we do is we reach out to stakeholders. Once we realize that the students have a relevant application, or some of the students in our fellowship program at Hey Labs, we connect them to these organizations to actually pilot test their solutions, and then beyond that be able to iterate them to meet the needs of these organizations that they're working with.
As the number of young innovators grows each year, it's easy to say, forget Vision 2020. Rwanda will reach and surpass its ICT targets in no time. Kangwa Fidelis, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
And joining us now in studio are Muhozi Natasha, the Communications Officer of Hey Labs, and Kanyana Ornella, a 2015 Hey Fellowship graduate. Welcome, guys, to the show.
Thank you.
Now, I'm going to start with you, Natasha. I mean, we know Hey Labs has already been doing great things. It's been there for 5 years now. We all know where your stations, we've visited you before. But why was it important for you guys to start this event, this annual event that happens for these people? What's behind it?
Yes, so our annual Hack Out Loud, which is the name of this event, is in fact a series of events that happens throughout the month of June, whereby it's a process of launching the products that have been being built through Hey Labs, through our various labs stationed in 6 different schools around the country. And it is a time where students and business leaders and potential investors and onlookers can gather in one place, which is why for us it is very, very important to have this event. What we had on Saturday was a grand products launch and innovators graduation, which is the climax of this month-long series of product launches for us. And so it remains, it's the best part for us, because this is the day where we can have all the stakeholders, all the people who can be involved and engage actively in the solutions we're trying to build, can meet, can gather, can explore the possibilities, and and we can see Hey grow from there. So for us, every year brings on a new challenge, takes its own different shape, and hey, it's meant to be. Yeah.
Perfect. Now, Nella, as a participant, as someone who's just graduated from this event, tell us, what was your experience like being part of this event? What did you learn? And how do you think you've grown since you started working with Hey up to this point?
So, when I look back, when I entered this program, I was kind of a shy person, and right now I've grown personally, and I've learned some coding. Now I know I'm able to create something that is going to be useful to the society. So this is a great experience that I would like everyone to have, because you don't grow mentally, you also grow personally. So.
Yeah. And were you able to develop an app of your own as well? And if you did, could you tell us a bit about it?
Cool. Yes, we did create an application, and our application will be solving the problem of unemployment.
Oh, nice.
And we would like to have that application, the one who are looking for employers will be using it so that they can find all the available employers, and they will be engaging them like easily, and they can contact them and see their documents. So the application will be less, and people will be more exposed to the world of employment.
Nice. So that's a genius idea. I mean, you guys are basically, you have geniuses. You're working with geniuses. But as much as these guys are clearly very easy to work with because they're really good at what they do, what are some of the challenges that you face as the organizers of this event while trying to organize it, get ready for it, have participants come into it? What's the process like for you guys?
So the process really takes, we see the challenges taking different forms over the 6 months when the program begins. And you can see it's in the first big challenge is to get the fellows out of, straight out of high school mindset and to grow them into what they actually become 6 months later. That remains a challenge, but it's an exciting challenge for us as well. So we see them grow, we see them learn these skills, we see them grow in their ability to present themselves and their ideas and to challenge themselves, to challenge others. For us, they are our main, we wake up every day to kind of help them move day to day to get to the end of the journey. And then the other challenges really take, finding, trying to get people to believe in this purpose of ours, trying to get investors, trying to get sponsors, trying to get more parties involved in the product development process like that with us or invested in the applications that we build to pour in them financially or in different other ways. But I think all those other things, every kind of support stems from getting people to believe in our purpose and to walk with us on that journey and to see this Grand Products launch become more than just an event of the day, but simply a glimpse of a huger event that has been going on for 6 months and evolving. Yes.
Now, for someone watching our show, and maybe because I know you've also worked with people before who didn't even go to technical school, had no idea how to create an app. Yes. So are these the same people that you're still working with, and do you train them on all these things that at the end of the day they end up being like Ornella here and creating apps? And what's the process like for someone who wants to be part of this event?
Yes. You mean part of
what does it take to be
the
part
Club
of
program or the fellowship program? Oh yes, one, it takes passion. Two, it takes your willingness to be challenged and to enjoy the journey despite the challenges and difficulties. Three, okay. I said challenge. I said I have to repeat this. Can we do this? I should. I don't know why I got lost. I'm sorry. It takes passion, it takes willingness to be challenged, and it just takes enthusiasm for the program itself. So an understanding of what the program is like and what the program can be like and what you can be like as a person. And really, you don't have to have, IT background. Yes. Many of the students that we, interview, because we do go through a series of interviews before we pick out who are the 15, because 15 students in every school or 15 young people make up a lab wherever we are stationed in the different schools. Nice. So, even if you don't have any IT background, as long as you have the passion, the enthusiasm, the willingness to face challenge head on, then you can be in.
So you can take up someone like me who has no idea.
Absolutely, you simply have to be a star in your own way.
Perfect. Thank you very much, guys, for coming. And Ornella, wish you all the best. Hopefully, you'll develop some more apps, and we look forward to having you again on the show very soon.
Well, we guarantee that you'll be seeing a lot more apps from Hehe Labs. But thank you very much for having us.
You're welcome.
Our very own Fidelis there talking to Natasha Muhoza and Ornella Kanyana I just love them. They're so
great.
smart.
They're
They're
great.
so
They've been on
great.
the show before. Well, she's been, is it Ornella who's been on the show? One of them two has been on the show, but they're doing great.
Well, yes, they are doing great. They're doing a really good job. Shout out to them. You know, girl power,
Right.
tech power.
The youth is taking over. Women are taking over, and the youth is taking over. That's great.
Yeah, so where do you land in that?
Let's not even talk about that. All right, you're watching Rise and Shine's weekly review show. Let's take a look back at the week that was in sports with Arnold Quizera.
Now, Regis,
Yes.
you know I'm not really the biggest sports fan ever, right?
I guess by now everybody knows that.
Well, you know, some people
Like
know.
the playoffs. You feel like there's too many of
Over
them.
it, but let me tell you something. I really love this week's story for sports. So I want you to take us back.
All right, absolutely, McKenna. Well, mentally handicapped children have often not had the opportunity to have been involved in sports therapy as much as their peers, but this is set to change with the initiation of a program that aims at introducing sports to this happy but vulnerable group. And Arnold went to check it out, and let's take a look back at yesterday's report.
More often than not, children with disabilities have come to be shunned when it comes to sporting disciplines in Africa. But this is set to change with the initiation of a special program that is set to focus on mentally disabled children here in Rwanda. The Special Olympics program tries to get young children as these engaged in athletics starting from a young age. Sports has been cited as one of the best methodologies in boosting the social skills of disabled children worldwide, and for the fourth time, Rwanda is set to send a team to the Special Olympic Games.
Abana muri rusange n'abana bakunda kuba bari bonyine kubera ko umubiri wabo uba udafite ingufu nyinshi kubera ko ariko baba baravutse cyangwa barabitewe n'ibindi bintu, ariko iyo bakoresheje siporo umubiri wabo ugira imbaraga bakaba bashobora kwiruka, gusimbuka no kugenda neza, bakaba bahura na bagenzi babo badafite ibyo bibazo, bigatuma barushanwa nubwo ababa badafite ibibazo bashobora kubasiga, ariko nabo nibura baba bagaragaje ko umubiri wabo ufite ingufu.
Urebye inyungu za siporo kuri aba bana babana n'ubumuga bwo mu mutwe, icya mbere ni uko ibafasha gukomera mu ngingo, icyo ni icya mbere. Icya kabiri ikabafasha gusabana.
The Special Olympic Games is the world's largest sports organization for children and adults with intellectual disabilities, providing year-round training and competitions to more than 4.4 million athletes in 170 countries. Rwanda has taken part in the past 3 editions of these games and is set to send a 3-man team to this year's edition in the United States of America. With many mentally handicapped children often stereotyped and denied social networking, programs such as getting them into sports are one way of getting them a starting point in life. Arnold Quizera, Rise and Shine, Rwanda. Joining me in studio is Charles Gahire, a board chairman of the Special Olympics Committee here in Rwanda. Welcome to the show, Mr. Gahire.
Thank you.
You are going to lead the delegation that's going to be going to the Special Olympics game in LA very soon. What's the importance of such sports to mentally handicapped children like this in the country?
Well, intellectually handicapped people need such an exposure right from the beginning, right from their home areas, in the villages where they stay, with their parents. Sometimes some are marginalized. They are segregated. They don't feel, they feel they're not useful in society. With the coming in of Special Olympics, we felt that the most driving force to make them come out and feel as if, and feel at home, feel that they're with others, and feel that they're also human beings, or the sports.
Now, about the Special Olympics, give us a brief history on the Special Olympics movement here in Rwanda. When did it start up? Who started it up? Why did it start up?
Well, Special Olympics started in the early 2002 and was accredited as a program in Rwanda by Special Olympics International. which is based in Washington. But the whole idea was started by a gentleman called Anaklet Ruzindana, who is a founding member. And then later on, he started teaming up everybody, recruiting people, coaches, identifying athletes in the country, and then finally, that's where we are.
Now, these children are so, when you look at the history of our country and the culture, so many of our mentally disabled children tend to be locked up in homes. Now, what is being done, to try and remove this stereotype by this movement?
The movement is encouraging all parents. We mobilize parents. In fact, we have gone even further to local administration to advocate for their inclusion into society, so that all these kids were kept in their homes, in hidings, are brought into centers where they can meet their friends, centers where they can be treated by doctors, centers where they can have fun, where they can play games, so that they don't feel lonely as it is where they're staying with their homes, with their families.
Now, of course, you are faced with certain challenges in running of this movement. Would you like to share with us some of those challenges that are facing the Special Olympics Committee body here in Rwanda?
Well, the challenges are like any other non-governmental organization, which is more or less, we are more or less volunteers in whatever we are doing. Like we in the board, we are volunteers. The challenges are funds. The funds to move everything, to make sure that we know where this young person is hiding in the country. Secondly, the mobility to move, to reach where they are, that in terms of transport. And of course, eventually, we shall require enough staffing. At the moment, we have a small staff at the headquarters, and but we are trying.
Now, people tend to not know some of the causes of this handicap, and yet some may think it's like part of the Paralympics. It's not. If you could explain to our viewers, what are some of these causes of of being mentally handicapped?
Intellectual handicapped.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Well, the intellectual, someone with an ID or intellectual disability may start from, may come from many sources. I can mention like after prenatal, before a child is born, the kid could be born with it.
Now,
during the child is being born, during birth, at birth, the kid may get affected. The brain may be injured, may be affected, and then after that, he also, after being born, may live in a bad environment. The environment may be not suitable for him because the parents are poor. They cannot be able to look after him properly or her, or they may not go to health centers to look for vaccination, to go and vaccinate them for these diseases which are normally common, which government, Minister of Health normally does.
Like of measles.
Yes, measles and all that. So all that, and then poor feeding, all that coupled together can make someone intellectually disabled.
Last but not least, this team are going to the Special Olympics Games in LA. You are taking 3 participants in this team.
Yes.
What are the disciplines that they are going to compete in, and what's the criteria for them to get into this Summer Olympics?
Mostly these World Summer Olympics are normally held every 4 years. We started in 2003 in Dublin. Then we went to Shanghai in 2007. 2011, went to Athens. This year we're going to LA. Now the criteria for selection is normally, it's not compared to that of National Olympic Committee, because National Olympic Committee has to go for the elite, those who are
the best.
The best.
Yeah.
But for us, it is on random selection.
Oh.
Yeah, those who win, who get medals during the national games, like those which were held last year.
Yeah.
All who get medals, we are put together, and then we bring a box and put in.
Okay. And they are watching this whole process.
Everybody's there.
Okay.
And then whoever picks yes goes.
So it's yes or no. It's a lucky ballot.
It's a lucky ballot, exactly.
Kind of situation.
And that one doesn't create any conflict of any nature. And then the other way, and that's a policy for Special Olympics. And the other thing that we discovered that, I mean, the people going for, we came up with 2 for half marathon.
Yes.
And 1 for open water swimming.
Okay.
Yeah. And normally, we also do that based on the quota allocation from the Special Olympics International. Organizing committee, World Games Organizing Committee.
The quota they give you?
The quota they give us.
Okay, it's what you best.
We pick those that based on what they've given us. This time we are taking 3.
Okay.
But we have a delegation of 7 people.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Charles Gahiere, for coming to Rise and Shine.
Yeah.
Gahiere Charles from Special Olympics Rwanda speaking there to our very own Arnold Kwizera. I love that story.
Absolutely.
It's just so cute.
And the way they bonded too, you feel like they should be doing this all the time. They should be doing it together. But the story is very inspirational, and I would love to see Rwanda participate in the Paralympics.
And win.
Absolutely.
Win.
Right. All right, we'll be right back after the break with the news feature. Stay tuned. Well, this week, thousands of Rwandans had a peaceful demonstration outside the UK's High Commission offices in Kigali, demanding immediate and unconditional release of General Emmanuel Karenzi Karake, the country's head of National Intelligence and Security Service. They have vowed to keep the demonstration alive until General Karake is released. Take a look. They came out in full force, vowing to keep the demonstrations going until General Karenzi Karake's release. Last week, General Karake was barred by the UK immigration officials from boarding a flight back home in connection with a highly controversial indictment by a Spanish judge over alleged war crimes.
nduzamo na bene wacu bose barashize ari jejenyine ariko uko nari ndiho Imana irabishima nanjye kandi ubwanjye ndabyishimira none cya gisebe nari mfite mbere nari ngiye gukira abongereza bariho baragitoneka nibyo rero naje kwamagana ndashaka ko Generali Karake wacu arekurwa vuba byihuse ahubwo mu gitondo indege ikaba yamushikanye ibyo nibyo nifuza kuko yatabaye u Rwanda twari duheze mu mahanga.
Hano naje mu gikorwa cyo kwamagana abongereza badufungiye umujenerali wacu.
A tent was erected outside the UK High Commission's compound as protesters expect these tents to go the distance.
U Rwanda bamaze kudwubaka batugize umunyarwanda umwe baduhaye amahoro baduhaye gukora twishaka ukuntu twatera imbere none batangiye gusagarira bamwe baturokoye ubwo twebwe tubona ko barimo kuduhohotera ni nayo mpamvu twizanye hano ntabatuzanye kwamagana iryo hohoterwa nta kindi.
Many have described the Spanish judge's indictment as politically motivated, pointing out that there's a strong link between Judge Meirelles and the FDLR, and a top British MP, Andrew Mitchell, said the arrest was an abuse of justice.
umuyobozi wacu bafatiwe hanze y'igihugu kandi bamurengana mu by'ukuri ari umuntu tuzi umuntu wahagaze jenoside akadufasha kuzamura igihugu cyacu kugira ngo bamurekure nk'ahangaha twaje kugaragaza ukuri.
Let's keep an eye on the street. Regis Isheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda. I love the energy.
Definitely.
Right.
Earlier this week, hot off the heels of the controversial arrest, Great Lakes political analyst Albert Udat Simburgwa came to discuss the matter more in depth. Reggie started by asking him to explain the matter at hand.
There are different layers in this story, actually, as you mentioned it, because the first very question is you know, General Karenzi Karake is the head of the external security of Rwanda, the national NISS. So when somebody like that, of that level, moves to a foreign country, of course, your counterparts are contacted and you agree on the tour, on the where to go, how, who.
That's before he leaves the country.
That's before he leaves the country,
Okay.
you know.
Right.
And as you know, he was stopped on his way back.
Right.
So everything has been planned. And again, just to tell people, ever since he's been in office, he's been traveling, and he's been to the UK different times.
Right.
Even last December, when the president was in the UK, I covered the story, and I happened to meet him. So so he's traveling. So
why
now? Why now?
Right.
But even worse than that, let alone the why now, but did the UK trap Rwanda? Because that guy doesn't move before the other guys know about. So the question is, how do you do everything like that, and then it's like you're trapping somebody, and that is really a problem. On the other hand, it's a bit like the Juge Bruguière's case. First of all, you did well when you mention it. It's a European indictment. It's not even an Interpol indictment.
Right.
Because Interpol indictment, the threshold to get into that list is so. You really have to show tangible things, facts. Real proofs, right? Real proofs, you know, for people to be in that list, and they never made it. You know, so it's an easy way that European and I would say old colonial powers, you know, like I just give you a call and you can stop somebody for me. This is the level of indictment, you know. So it's really now when you come to the last layer, I would say a bit like Juge Bruguière, maybe it will also be an opportunity to expose the kind of stuff that the Western justice is using to in fact put pressure on African sovereign countries. But in our case, it's even worse, because there are so many reports that came out after 2008, after the indictments, from different sources, showing the link with the FDLR until today with the NGOs that were, in fact,
Spanish NGOs
that were at the beginning of this whole indictment story. You know, that they've been even funded by a regional government of Spain, of Mallorca, 200,000 euros, you know, to prepare the case, to have a case, and these people are still linked until today to the FDLR. And when we know that UN refused to fight FDLR, when we know that regional bodies have refused to fight FDLR, when we know that the other day Rwanda also denounced this tricky untold story showing revisionism and almost giving a red carpet for FDLR type of organizations and groups, it really triggers a question. So, and also this happened after Rwanda was clearly standing tall in their shoes about that documented the untold story, you know, on the BBC, and their stand is firm. So is this like retaliation, or what is there? What is really under there? That is the real question. And there are really many questions to raise. And I would say also, I would question also the other partners of the UK in this story, of the EU. You know, how can you tolerate that? How can you allow that happening? You know, Germany made a fool of themselves when they arrested Rose Kabuye.
Right.
So is UK just going down the same route?
So what is this going to do for relations between Rwanda, the UK, Rwanda, and Spain? What's going to happen there?
You know, I'm not a politician, and I've, you know, and let me see it in a cold way. In general, you know, the UK has been using Rwanda. You know, every UK government has been using Rwanda because they don't have strategic interest here. But to have somebody like Rwanda, developing like Rwanda, you know, like every cent that you give Rwanda, they can account for, and they give so much results, you know. For them, it was nice to be associated to that brand, you know. So here, you wonder, okay, guys, so what was our relationship all of this time? You've just been using because we're good guys, and now somebody told you we're bad guys? So I'm really questioning, and I really wonder, is this a wave? Or is this something deeper than that? Or you could have a season when you have people there who are at the affairs and who are more linked to eventually to some genocidaire milieux, you know, because at the other hand, so many guys live there in the UK.
That was going to be my next question, actually, Albert. We've learned for so long, and we've come kind of used to seeing former genocidaires living in France. That has been going on for a long time now. Can we, and it's been a safe haven for them, can we now say that the UK could become a safe haven for them?
But they are ready. You have a couple of guys who are there for whom Rwanda has asked extradition, and it never happened, and yet they don't try it, you know. So and they're quick on jumping on a file that was filed by a Western judge, you know, by a European, you know, and our cases of Rwanda, you know, cases documented, recognized by the world and up to the UN.
This came out of nowhere, honestly. Where do you see this going, like in the next couple of days?
Or what's going to be the reaction, rather? Because we know the reaction of the citizens, but what's going to be the reaction from
the very first reaction is really put some pressure on the UK government to come out and have an honest explanation, because like I said, you don't have that level of authority moving from one country to the other without knowledge of both countries. So that is the first. Now we'll have to see how the UK reacts to this also, you know. And let me tell you, it is bull to say that the justice system is just impartial and independent.
And that it has no political side.
I mean, hard to believe in this case.
Right.
Well, Albert, thank you so much for joining us once again.
Albert Rudatsimburwa there discussing the controversial Karenzi Karake UK arrest. You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda, the review. Up next, we have a look back at this week's lifestyle story. We'll be right back.
Here is to traveling and saving. Starting 1st of April to the 1st of June, travel with Rwandair and take advantage of our reduced fares and enjoy our world-class services in great comfort and safety.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Well, this week in Lifestyle, we saw a lot, from swimming pool cross-training tips to an initiative looking to change the Rwandan perspective on how we treat dogs. Tell us more, Michaela.
Okay, I certainly will. We definitely had some good stories this week, but my favorite had to be the one that we went and we did on street art.
Right,
you remember that one?
Absolutely.
All right, it's true and undeniable. Kigali is one of the cleanest cities in the world. Our roads are pristine, vegetation manicured, and buildings spotless. This is something that we as Rwandans, we take pride in
Absolutely.
that, right? But
yes.
some say a little art could could only add to our city's beauty and personality. Enter Kurema Kureba Kwiga, an initiative that aims to fill Kigali's blank walls with color and life, all with a message. I went to check out their latest project in the making earlier this week, and it's a big one. So let's take a look back. Kurema Kureba Kwiga is back on Rise and Shine again, and this time for a street art workshop for local artists with acclaimed Kenyan street artist Wise 2. The initiative aims to promote art, community, and city beautification. All of this was achieved at the organization's latest project at Maison de Jean in Kimisagara.
We came here as an artist. We wanted to make some mirrors here to this place, but the mirrors which can help those youth who used to come here, and because they do different things here. They play football, they play music, they dance. There is dancing, so it's like to encouraging those youth who used to come here through the images which we're gonna put here in these walls. The word which is here is Ejo Heza Ni Ahawe. The good future, tomorrow's future is yours.
Definitely a great message for the young ones. But one of the other artists taking part, Fred, assured us that the project goes beyond the young people who frequent the venue.
You know, in Rwanda, most people don't know about arts. Like different challenges we meet, we go like people ask, "What are you doing?" Most of them they don't know about the thing. Like it's good for them to join us, so they will know how is the art stuff going, what is the mirror, what is the street art and whatever. So it's good for them to know, and it's good for us. Like we meet them and then we get open and we explain them. Like it's very something very good. Yeah. After this one, we are trying to get different places where we can put some mirrors so people will get to know about arts in Rwanda. I think it's a very good thing. Like it's time for people in Rwanda to know about arts and the artist's life, the way artists live their daily life. Yeah. So I think it's a very good thing, and I hope in the future all of places in Kigali gonna have some mirrors. Yeah.
The special guest artist and conductor of the 10-day workshop leading up to this event, Wise 2, reflected on his first time in Rwanda as one of the biggest names in Kenyan street art right now.
Well, one thing I can say that in Rwanda there isn't that level of street art that one would expect. Being here, it's like it's like all the walls are a clean slate. So for me to be able to paint, even the fact that I can't paint openly, I need to get enough permission from enough people, and that chain of bureaucracy, it makes it tough, but it also makes me appreciate that I can be able to paint after a long hustle of getting a wall of permission. So yeah, it does feel like Rwanda is a growing art scene, and at the same time, there's a lot that Rwanda can achieve in the next 5 or 10 years in terms of street art.
Despite the rise of street art as a powerful tool of expression worldwide, many people still consider it to be an act of vandalism or destruction of property. I asked Wise 2 what he thought about that.
I think it's an old myth. Like people use it all the time. It's like an old wives' tale, It's like a fable. That doesn't exist anymore. I feel like the 1960s and the 70s all the way up to the 80s, 90s had its own impact of like defacing walls. It still happens in major cities, Berlin, in New York or whatnot. But when you see a proper piece of work done by spray paint or just brush work with bucket paint or latex paint or whatever, paint that you use in the street, just the fact that you could do that and have that kind of a power, it already makes certain people scared. Like advertising, it's okay because you ask for permission, it's cool. But if you look at the stuff that people put up, it's really ugly. Nobody wants to drink a lot of beer every day. But when you see it, you are like, I need to drink beer. But when you see a good piece of art, when it comes to street art is growing all over the world. People use it for good, people use it for bad.
Wise words indeed. Here's to more art being made around Kigali for good. Makeda Mahario, Rise and Shine Rwanda. And joining us in studio now from Kurema Kureba Kwiga is Gil Mwebaze, project manager there. Yes?
Yes.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here.
I'm
So we've done kind of profiled Kurema Kureba Kwiga a little bit before when they did the Art Umuganda. So we talked a bit about it on one of our earlier shows here at Rise and Shine, but I want you to kind of take us through what's the mission of Kurema Kureba Kwiga?
Well, Kurema Kureba Kwiga is a social enterprise, meaning this is an enterprise which doesn't focus on making profits, but it uses the skills or the business skills to maximize the social impact on the environment and on the people. And in that case now we are using this arts, street art and art-based actions to bring this art to the people, because there are a lot of galleries, but you find that the galleries are mostly frequented by the upper class of the upper echelon of the society. But we feel like this is something which we should be able to take to the people. So now the street art is bringing art down to the people who need to see it and creating like a good feeling about what is happening, and for them to be able to see without necessarily having to go to these high-priced or expensive art galleries to buy a piece of art, which a lot of people would not be able to do because of the economic situation.
Right. We don't see very many murals around Kigali or street art, if you will. I think the mostly what we see is on a shop or on a butchery, we see maybe a knife cutting a piece of meat or something like that, or at a barber shop or at a salon. What kind of permissions do you need to put these big art pieces up?
Well, it is a bit of a challenge, because in other places the literal or the original street art is people going out and painting, sometimes during the night time without any permission. But being that Rwanda is a very small place, we try to go out and find local authorities to give us permission. We need to get sponsorship to be able to buy the paint, and because this is like an arts exchange. We have some artists who we're working with. We have the Wise2, who is the artist from Kenya, and he's coming to work with these artists. So we need to get some budget for that. And also we need to find willing people to give us the places where we can put these paintings. And at the moment we did one with what you've just seen in the last video with the
Maison de
Jeunes, and they were very, very helpful, and they gave us this opportunity. And it has really changed the place. This is a place where a lot of youth go to hang out, and now they have a bit of art with them.
So you mentioned Wise2. Now Wise2 is acclaimed in Kenya. He's done art all over the world, and we even seen in the airport this commission work from Wise2.
Yes.
How did you get him to come and do this workshop?
Oh, well, one of our Kurema directors was in Kenya for one of these art. She's a lady, so she was in the Women in Art program. And she met him at a nice place called the Power 254. That's a nice center where people go and like have exchanges and have like a creative space and have events. And he talked about being interested in coming to work in Rwanda. So the next process was having to lay it down and organize, because we needed to find a way for him to be relevant to come here, and that would be to train the local artists and to pass on skills, to exchange the skills. So yeah, that process, which was almost 5 months ago, finally culminated into him being able to come and to have this 4-day training with the artists, which we had at the office in Kiyovu, and also managed to have a discussion, because we had a lot of stakeholders and normal people at the Gowet Institute, to have like a talk between people to see if this is something which is relevant. Is street art necessary, or is it good?
Right.
And then finally we managed to be able to do the Maison de Jeunes project, where they came together with the artists and created this big piece of art.
So there have been some other murals that Kurema has worked on in Remera, in Kachiru, all over. After the fact, after the mural is finished and done, how does the community react to it? Have you been getting really good feedback?
Well, I'll give you a few examples. We did a mural at the stadium in Nyamirambo.
Yes.
We painted the stairs.
Yes, beautiful.
So if you see that now, if you go we don't really know it, but we notice that there are a lot of music videos that are being made.
Everyone takes photos in front of it.
People take photos in front of it. I've seen so many photos, people doing exercises, people doing what. So that is in touch with the community, and that is like something which we didn't expect, but we noticed that they need these spaces. People need these colored spaces within the city for the young people to make their music videos. You know, all that's like one impact.
Right.
And the second thing is, I would like to quote a young man who was at the Maison de Jeunes on Thursday. He's like a rollerblade young boy, about 10 years of age, and he mentioned that the place, the center has now changed and it looks so nice.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, you know.
And it looks beautiful. We just showed some photos, I think, and it actually looks really great.
Yes.
Congratulations on this project. I'm looking forward to everything that you all have in the future, because I know there's a lot coming from Kurema.
Definitely, yeah. Maybe I can tell you more. We're planning to have a street art festival, which will be the first in East Africa.
When?
It's still in plan, but hopefully before the end of this year or next year.
Okay, so where can people find information about that? I think on Facebook? And
Facebook, Kurema Kwiga, and Twitter is Kurema Rwanda. And yeah, if you look around, all the beautiful pictures that are available, which are painting, yeah, they're there, and you see them Instagram. Kurema,
definitely
Rwanda.
Looking forward to that for sure. Yeah. Thank you so much, Gil, for joining us today.
Great report there, Makeda. I feel like we have, you know, this show has all been about great talents, the youth, what they're doing, you know, the women, what they're doing. This is a great one. This
the men, what they're doing as well. It's about equality, huh?
Yes,
equality.
yes,
We're just trying to get there.
Absolutely.
But definitely. I really like that story. And all the murals that they've done, there's been such a positive reaction.
Right.
It's really been making people feel good. So, you know, I really like that. I'm hoping to cover some more stuff like that. Now, don't forget, we love to hear your thoughts, comments, and feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. So you can tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. We always want to know what you're thinking. Like us on Facebook and send us ideas for programs, or tag us in your photos, comment on what we're saying. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page, where you can catch all the shows and reports that we upload daily. Find us on Instagram and follow us, Rise and Shine RW. We're always posting behind the scenes photos. Or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. We'd love to hear your feedback, so just like she said, do let us know if you have an idea for the program. You've been watching the weekly review edition of Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Makeda Mahario. We'll be back here, same time, same place on Monday, so please do join us then. But for now, from the both of us and the rest of the Rise and Shine team, have a great day and an even better weekend.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.